Pupils of the Tube, and welcome to a video that I'm making just now. At the moment, we are just newly past 2 episodes in to the new series of Doctor Who. And you might not know this, unless you know me at all, in which case you definitely will know this, but I'm very into Doctor Who. It's my favourite thing. And this year, we've had to wait a long time between last year's series and this year's series. We got a Christmas special in between that was so bad that my parody version was better, which isn't saying much. We've had a long wait, a lot of build up, and now it's here. And, the big question on no one's mind is, what did I think? You might think that I'm a bit late to the party here because the series, we're 2 episodes in now. Generally, the thing to do would be to make a video after the first episode. But to be honest, I feel like a lot of the introduction was spread out over the 2 episodes. We got most of it in part one. The next episode is a different story, but it gave us the rest of the new things. If that makes any sense. Also, I ran out of time. I was very busy last week. I've had a busy week. It's been an intense week. I've been doing things. What were those things? I don't know. Things. Just been doing things. Another reason I'm doing it now and not wait till the end of the series. I'm going away on holiday on Sunday, so I'm going to miss this week's one. I'll still be away for next week's one, and I'll still be away for the week after, so I'm going to miss a lot of episodes. Obviously, I'll catch up with them when I get back. But I've had my preliminary Jodie burst. I'm going to have a little wait, and then I'll have a Jodie cram, and then back on with full pace for the second half of the series. So anyway, yeah, we're 2 episodes in. What did I think? I'm loving it. It's great. I'm having a lovely time. It's not perfect, but should it be? I don't know. Firstly, most importantly, new Doctor. Obviously, in certain parts of the internet, this is controversial material. Certain parts of the world in general that don't go on the internet. Some people are not happy about a very specific element in this casting choice. The thing with Jodie Whittaker is, you see, she's not very tall. Apparently people don't like it because she's a centimetre... No. She is, interestingly, she is the shortest Doctor. She's a centimetre less than Sylvester McCoy. But that's not what people are worried about. Do you know what it is? This is crazy, right? Apparently it's because she's a woman. Who knew? I mean, most people probably knew she was a woman. But, yeah, apparently people don't like that. I can't get too condescending about this. I was always a little bit hesitant about the idea. But when the casting happened, I was like, okay, well, why was I hesitant about that? I couldn't think of any actual reason. I think, to be honest, I just don't like change. And once the change has happened, if it's a good change, I'm fine. And it was a good change. I think this is long overdue, to be honest. So, yeah, particularly once I saw the vitriolic things the people that really hated the decision were saying, I was like, yeah, I can't get behind that team. So, very quickly, I was pro Jodie. Everything I've seen her in as herself, she seems so nice. She seems so down to earth and like really likable, and that translates onto screen. She is such a likable character as the Doctor. She's just, I love her. She's great. It's really nice. A brilliant performance. She's perfectly suited to the part. Because what I wanted was a really strong, versatile character actor. And I think that's what Jodie is. I've seen her in other things. She's got good range. She can do a lot of things. She's not really tied to this one specific, like Tom Cruise always plays Tom Cruise. No, she plays a character. And that's what I wanted. That's what we got. It's great. And she's great. The writing, for the most part, is great for her. Just specifically for her, we're talking about just now. We'll move on to other writing things. She's been well written. Both the episodes had teeny little bits that kind of felt a bit shoehorned in, sort of Doctor moral outrage. I know, obviously, the Doctor is supposed to be a pacifist. That's fine. That's great. But sometimes it feels a bit heavy-handed. There's one moment in each of the episodes. In the first episode, spoilers, by the way, if you haven't seen these episodes, this is going to spoil the thing. I'm just clarifying what I mean. But There's a scene where Carl kicks Tim Shaw off the crane, and he doesn't die. He teleports away, and the Doctor was like, "You had no right to do that," and I was like, I mean, I feel like it's justified. That one time when Tegan beat a pterodactyl to death with a club because she'd been having a really bad day, you didn't call her out on that. I think she was mildly justified in doing that, to be honest. I think it was a bit too much outrage for what happened. It's nothing to do with Jodie. It's just a writing thing that didn't quite stick in that moment. The bit with the guns in episode 2 when Ryan goes out doing his Call of Duty bit, uh, and then the Doctor's like, "Oh, shooting things never gets you anywhere. Let me kill them all with a technical thing." I mean, your thing wasn't really better than his thing. Neither of them were particularly morally better or more useful. I mean, they were knocked out longer with the technical thingy than with the shooty thingy, but it felt a bit tacked on. That's my only minor quibble, and it's not a performance thing; it's a writing thing. It's fine. For the most part, I love her. She's great. I can't wait for we've got another 8 weeks to go. In terms of supporting cast, we've got a lot of companions this year. Let's talk about Yasmin first. She's probably the least developed character so far. Again, Amanda Gill's putting in a great performance. There's not really been much for her to do yet. I'm guessing that once we get back to Earth, I think we're meeting her family in episode 4, 5? I don't know. At some point in the near future, I think we're meeting her family. And then probably we'll get more about what makes her tick. And that's fine. For the time being, we've not really had much. But I guess we'll have more. I like her fine. She's nice. Bradley Walsh is someone that a few years ago, I mean like 10 years ago maybe, if he'd been brought in, I'd be like, wait, what? I'd have been uncertain about someone that generally is seen on TV as a bit of a sort of comical, funny, shenanigan, bantery person. I mean, I know I've seen him acting in Law and Order UK and a few other things, but I kind of mostly see him as Bradley Walsh of The Chase. But after we had Donna, who was Catherine Tate all-out comedian, put in a killer performance as Donna in Series 4, and then the exact same thing again with Matt Lucas coming in and being like the heart and soul of the series as Nardole, I I I don't even bat an eyelid when I hear, oh yep, who we got this time? Oh, it's Fanny Schmeller off The Chase. It's, you know what? It's fine. And sure enough, he's fine. He's really good. He's got a really solid performance. Quite a likable character. He's got depths to him. He's got a lot of character backstory, which obviously is a writing thing, but he carries it well. He doesn't feel like he's doing it. He has funny moments, but he carries his serious moments well. And then we've got Ryan, who's played by Tosin Cole, and some people seem to be a bit on the fence about him. I personally, I'm really enjoying his performance. I really like the character. I think he's been quite well introduced. There's enough going on with him to invest us. The dyspraxia thing is obviously going to specifically make him more endeared to me personally. But that's the sort of relatable thing that even if you're not dyspraxic, you're going to be able to see this as a normal type of character flaw that he works through. It's not even a character flaw. It's just something that makes life a bit difficult. He works through it. He's not perfect. It is a lot of companions, but I don't mind that. The early William Hartnell's first couple of years, there was 3 companions. Peter Davison's early stories, there were 3 companions. It doesn't bother me too much, as long as the attention isn't too much taken away from the Doctor, because I really like Jodie as the Doctor. I want to get as much of her as possible. And as long as no one ends up being underdeveloped, because that can happen. It did happen a bit in Peter Davison's era. There tended to be one companion stuck in the cupboard for an episode. But the thing that I really like with the new companions, and this is something that's been missing for a long time, they feel like real people. They don't have world-changing importance. Because this is the thing with Moffat's companions. I don't want to make this a new series is great, Moffat's run was terrible, because it wasn't. I liked a lot about Stephen Moffat's run. But he had a tendency to make his characters be the most important thing. What is this mystery? This companion is here because she's so important. There's a mystery. We don't know what's going on with her. Let's find out. And I feel like you don't need that. It makes them less relatable if they're the most important person in the world. The thing is, we, the audience, we're not the most important person in the world. Well, at least, I know I'm not. So making the companions just this be all and end all, the world revolves around them. It's interesting and original if it happens once, but over and over again, it kind of gets a bit old. So I'm glad they're not doing that. That's the thing I particularly like about the companions. Other new things we've had, obviously the Doctor's got a new costume. That's not really a big thing. I like her costume. I wasn't sure about it to start with, then the more I saw of it, the more I was like, yeah, I like that. I like it's a nice costume. It's fine. It's nice. Um, we've got a new TARDIS outside. I mean, it's the best one we've had so far in the new series. It's still not Clayton Hickman approves worthy accuracy. So I mean, this is approximately. It's not a great representation, but this is roughly the sort of, in terms of the panel width to height ratio, this is roughly what a police box should look. It's not a great representation, but it's an approximation. This one, you see, I mean, ignoring the scale, because let's hold them so they're. It's just so square. Why is it so? I don't want to fat shame the TARDIS, but it's a bit too fat, and they're all kind of that shape. The new series TARDISes. They fixed some things. They've made some things work. The lamp on the top, I'm not wild on. But you know what? These are minor quibbles. These are insignificancies. Let's move on. The TARDIS is the TARDIS. It's a police box. It's nice. I like the new black sign on the outside. That's nice. Inside the TARDIS, not sold. Not sold yet. It's all right. I don't hate it, but everything sort of feels smaller. The last set I loved. I mean, I think it's gonna be hard work to top the old late Matt Smith through Peter Capaldi set because I didn't really like the set. But there's these like crystally pillars, and they're kind of short, and they're clustered around the console, and the console's very small, and it feels smaller because everything's very busy and enclosed around it, and the room just ends up feeling a bit too small. I think if the console was bigger and they did away with the crystally pillars, it would look better. In my opinion, the walls I like, the lighting I like, the overall crystally theme I like. But I prefer the old TARDIS. It's just a personal taste. Episode 2 also gave us the new title sequence, which I love. It's so 60s. All this sort of indistinct, intangible blobs, but like the old Howl Round effect. It was all just these bizarre moving shapes that gave an impression of spacey, misty stuff. It's lovely. I really like that sort of style, and this is just like that, but done in CG and really nice and sharp and bizarre and mysterious. It's a little bit short. It's quite a brief title sequence, but it's for what we get. It's wonderful. I love it. The music, it's great. It's really good. The music actually all through the series. The new theme song is wonderful because it's got all the all the Delia Derbyshire elements mixed in, which is nice. And it does its own thing as well, which is also nice. We got a new composer because Murray Gold left, and we've got Sagan Akinola in now, who's relatively new to the scene, which is good because I think we need something fresh and different, and that's what we've been given. It's so different. It's completely different from what we had before, and that's what we need. The show runs on not staying in the same place for too long, and I think Murray Gold's music had just kind of outstayed its freshness. So that's great, I'm loving that. And the only other thing really to bring up is the stories themselves, which they've been fine. I wouldn't say either of them have been really memorable, best ever examples of Doctor Who, but they've both been solid stories. The first one I watched twice now, and it's really fun. It's a lot darker. In fact, both of them, the first one particularly, but both of them to degrees, feel a lot darker. Death suddenly seems to have meaning again, because that's another thing that I wasn't wild on with Moffat, was he tended to make anyone could come back once they died. There wasn't really any stakes because death had no real value. Whereas in this story we had Raoul. Here's a character. Is he important? I don't know. He's dead. We had Eat My Salad Halloween guy, dead. That cuddly grandpa. Oh, hey, my granddaughter. Oh, I like my grandkids and I have a happy laugh and it's really nice. Oh, dead. And that's them. They're dead. And then Grace dies, She's Graham's wife and Ryan's grandmother, and she's like part of the gang for the first episode, and then she just dies. We have her funeral, and that's it. That's all she wrote. It's dark and it's kind of sad, but I feel like it's needed. I think we need to re-establish that if someone dies, they die. Things can make you die, and it gives everything threat, and it gives a sense of urgency and stakes that we didn't really have before. So that's good. There's not really been any major, really exciting villains. I like Tim Shaw, who's the villain from episode 1, and he had teeth on his face and all that going on. He looks interesting. His name's quite funny. I have a bit of a weakness for weird-looking things with human names. John Jones from Supergirl. That I still find that hilarious. I don't care how it's spelled. His name's John Jones. That's a human name. That's a really boring human name. Like, oh, I'm not that guy from the end of time. I look like him, but I'm secretly an alien, and my secret alien name is John Jones. So yeah, that's hilarious. And Tim Shaw is it's that. But is he that memorable a villain? Sort of when people think back, oh, remember that thing, the Wirren and the Zygons from the first time around before they came back, and these other one-off villains that are really memorable. Is he in that range? No, not really. I mean, he's fine for an introductory monster when you kind of want to focus the story on the characters, which is the right thing to do. But I don't find him all that memorable, which kind of makes it strange that they brought him back up again, or his species at least, as being responsible for things going on in part 2 in the second episode, since they're not related stories, but they are. That was a strange decision. I wasn't sure about that. Episode 2 doesn't have a lot of important plot. The Doctor's carried along in this race, and it's a bit of a sort of journey of fun. It's fun. I enjoyed it. There isn't a lot of substance to the plot, necessarily. But that's okay. I think episode 1, the story's a little lighter, because it's mostly focusing on introducing the characters. Episode 2, the story is still not very heavy, because we're needing to keep consolidate and build up on the characters established in part 1. We need a few episodes just to get us in, get everything set up, and so the plot's not being amazingly that is an actual adjective, is with your arms out like that. That's fine. I don't really see that as an issue, personally. But yeah, they're good episodes. They're certainly enjoyable, and the viewing figures are apparently really, really high. So that's really good. That's very encouraging. I think the move to Sunday night was a good idea. I know some people are like, oh, it should always be on Saturday. But I mean, it wasn't in Peter Davison's run, and the viewing figures went up. This is the second time that's happened. They did also reschedule them during Sylvester McCoy's run, and intentionally schedule them against Coronation Street, back when you had to watch it when it went out or you missed it, and no one watched it because everyone's mother was watching Coronation Street. That was a sort of deliberate sabotage move. I don't think this is. I think this is quite a clever change, because viewing habits have changed. People don't really seem to watch the dramas so much on the Saturday. Sunday seems to become more the time to watch things like that. So I've talked for a lot longer than I meant to. This has been 24 minutes. I'll try and trim it down a bit. Overall, I'm loving the new series. It's turned out really good. Everyone else seems to be really enthusiastic, which is brilliant, because I think, and again, I don't want to keep on saying this is good and the last few years was bad, because there's a lot of good in the last series. Peter Capaldi's Doctor, loved him. Nardole, loved him. A lot of episodes I really liked. But I think partly because everything had become very convoluted and very tied up in its own continuity, it kind of made it less accessible to new viewers, and things that were kind of annoying occasionally pushed away some of the existing viewers that were like, okay, I've kind of gotten bored, and they wander off. There's no one can really come in to replace them. We have a sort of, if you have a through flow, anyone that gets fed up and leaves, generally there's going to be someone coming in to replace them. Whereas if it's kind of inaccessible, the ones that are going to wander off. The people come in, it's like, what's this? Oh, remember that time when this and this and this? I do not remember that. Bye. That's not a great analogy. But you know what I mean. I think having it feel fairly fresh and new, not rely too much on things that have happened before, the change in schedule, I think all of this is really good to bring in new fans. Everyone seems to be enjoying the series. There's always going to be that small box of people that, regardless of what is put in front of them, they've decided from a specific thing like the casting, uh, almost just the casting. They've decided from the casting, or from the fact that there is now quite a broad range of gender and ethnicity within the writing team. They see that as ticking boxes or whatever it is that they say. There's people that will say, I don't like that, thus whatever is put in front of me, I will not like, regardless of quality. And you're never going to please those people. And do you really want to please those people? Maybe not. But for the most part, it's good material. We're being given good, solid episodes. The series is enjoyable. The cast are good. The acting is great. We've got a wonderful Doctor. We've got a fresh start. Everything feels new and exciting, revamped and revitalized. It's great. I'm loving it. I hope this continues. I hope everyone stays on board and we just have a really nice time with the new Doctor Who. I hope the next 3 episodes are really good and that I don't get anything spoiled while I'm on my holidays. I doubt there's going to be any major spoilery things happening in episodes 3, 4, and 5. That doesn't seem... Well, maybe, I don't know, 5's halfway through the series, isn't it? So, yeah, don't spoil things. Don't send me paper airplanes to Spain with spoilers written on them, because I won't read them. I've talked for too long. I hope you've enjoyed me rambling about what I think of the new series so far. I hope you've enjoyed the new series so far. If you haven't, that's fine, as long as, you know, if you thought, well, those episodes didn't really appeal to me, or, oh, I tried it out, the new Doctor, I gave her a chance, but she doesn't really appeal to me. You know what? That's fine. I don't have an issue with that. You know, you like what you like. That's absolutely fine. It's the people that out of hand dismiss it are the only people that I'm like, you know what? I don't care. But I hope you did enjoy it, because I did, and I hope you continue to enjoy it. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day. I was so determined I wasn't going to ramble, and I just rambled so much. This is going to be fun to try and cut this down. I did actually consider, instead of doing a video where I talked about what I thought of the episodes, I had this whole bit, because the Doctor Who guide. If you're watching this, I don't know if you actually will see this. There's a lot of other videos about Doctor Who that are better. But if you're watching this, hi. He did a live stream for 12 hours just watching the first episode over and over and over again. I think like 13 times, because 13 Doctor 13 times. And I was tuned in for well over half of it. And I thought I should do a video, like a whole bit, and I could do like JC and Evil Twin, and they're going to watch it 13 times, and they're like, that's a terrible idea. And this seemed hilarious, but then I was like, it's only hilarious if you know what it's a reference to. And there's not going to be much crossover between videos of me doing characters doing a bit and people who have seen the Doctor Who guide. I mean, there's not many people that watch my videos anyway. But anyway, what am I saying? Yeah. So by the time I'd debated, will I do that or will I just talk about the episode? The second episode had aired. So yeah, it's nice though. It's nice to come and talk some words, even if I'm really incoherent, which generally I do tend to be. Bye.